Hey everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Ken. Today I'm cooking up some sloppy joes, and on the side we're going to have some little battered onion rings. But what we've got going on now, I've already started browning my ground meat, and you can tell it's pretty much had its way, pretty much done. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to strain all of this fat off of here. All right, now while that's straining, we're going to add some other stuff to this. Now in here I've got 6 garlic cloves, a green bell pepper, a half a red, and a half a yellow bell pepper. I've got 1 big old giant sweet Vidalia onion cut up. And we're going to put this back in. I left a little bit of that fat that kind of rendered off that meat down in here to get this going. And we're going to cook these until the onions kind of get clear, and then we're going to add our meat back into it. All right, our onions and peppers and garlic really starting to cook down now. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add my meat back to this. Get that all stirred in there. Just pop it down in there. Put this back down in the sink. We're going to get this all stirred up. Now to this, I'm also going to add 5 to 6 tomatoes that I kind of boiled and got the skins peeled off, kind of crushed them up a little bit. They'll bust up a little bit more while they're down in here. I've got a can of tomato paste I'm going to put down in here. This will help thicken this up. And just for a little taste of home, I've got a jar of Rosie's canned tomatoes, which are pretty much the same thing as what I just put in there. It's just, I like using her stuff every now and again. Now you really want to give this a good stir. Really get it all mixed up well. You're going to let this cook probably for at least another 45 minutes. You really want it to start cooking down and thickening up. Let all those flavors start blending together really well. If it doesn't get thick enough, you can add, I think I add a couple of tablespoons of flour to it. That'll help thicken it up a little bit. All right. Now that we've kind of got this all stirred up in there really good, I'm going to add some seasoning to this. Now what I've got some paprika, some dried mustard, a little garlic powder, and some fresh ground pepper in there. A tablespoon of each. I think a half a tablespoon of that onion powder. Really stir that in there. You can see it's really thickening up good. All right, now I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit, put this on a medium heat. Really let this kind of render all together, all those flavors going. It's going to be delicious once it's finished. All right, now that our sloppy joes are cooking off to the side and kind of thickening up a little bit, we're going to start getting our batter ready for our onion rings. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start out, I've got a cup of all-purpose flour and about a half a tablespoon of baking powder. Keeping on my thing. And I've got a tablespoon of paprika, of onion powder, and some garlic salt. Get down in there. Got an egg used to bind this all up. And then I'm going to use about 1.5 cups of buttermilk. All right. Set that there. Start whisking away on this. You really want it to have like the consistency of like a pancake batter mix. You don't want it too thick. You just want to coat those onion rings. And you can see I've got a little flour on my onion rings. That'll help hold, kind of bind all this stuff together. My oil's getting there. It's almost at 365 degrees. So I gotta hurry up, hustle this up. I think by the time I get this done, it'll be right there. All right. Now we're going to take our onion rings. We're going to dip them down in this batter. Just kind of do each one. Shake some of that off. Get a good coat on them. Just drop them down right in our grease there. Do a couple more. All right. We cooked up some of our onion rings here. You see they're nice and golden brown. Grab some of these up. Some of my first ones got a little too brown. Had that oil hot. I'm gonna put them in there. Now we're going. We got the temperature going good now. All right. Now our sloppy joes should be ready to go. Set that on the holder there. Go ahead and get some of that on here. Yeah, look at that. Good does that look? All right. Set that there. Fold that over. Get a couple of my onion rings. Oh, yeah. These are so crunchy. Listen to that. Those are so good. Figure out how we can get in my sloppy joe here. Let me wearing it. The tomato flavor in there. Those spices. That's absolutely, excuse me, delicious. I still got it in my mouth. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe and I hope you give it a try. The kids are gonna love it. We'll see you next time on In the Kitchen with Ken. Bye now.